Hi, I'm Massimo Gambelli from Raw Combatives, Italy. I have the pleasure and the honor to interview Mr. Fred Bauer. Fred is the second regent of U.S.A. and the president of GHCA. So, Fred, let's start the interview. What is the meaning of the term GHCA?
GHCA, which is Gung Ho Kiwanis Association. Gung Ho Kiwanis Association, Gung Ho is a United States Marine Corps term used by Colonel Evan Carlsons of the Marine Raiders in World War II. Gung Ho means working together. Chuan means fists. So Gung Ho Chuan is fists working together.
I realize that this is a question that would require a very long answer, but could you tell us in a few words true origins of combatives?
The origins of our combatives, or our lineage, starts in the early 1920s in Shanghai. We had two individuals named William Fairburn and Eric Sykes. They taught and they were in charge of Shanghai Municipal Police. Shanghai in the 20s was one of the most violent cities in the world at the time. You had the Marine Raiders who came through, the Marine Corps came through Shanghai, and they picked up the fighting techniques of William Fairburn. You had other individuals throughout the years who trained with William Fairburn, like Colonel Rex Applegate, Pat O'Neill, who then eventually taught an individual named Charlie Nelson. Okay? After World War II, Charlie Nelson opened up his own self-defense class, self-defense school, and Bob Casper, who was the founder of the GHCA, was a student of Charlie Nelson. So that's our lineage, that's the origin of our combatives of the GHCA.
How are combatives different from other self-defense systems?
Okay. First off, true combat isn't a self-defense system. Okay? It could be taught as a self-defense system, but true combat are methods of aggressive, offensive, no-hold-barred gutter fighting techniques that are going to stop the threat. Okay? We have no defense. All we have is attack and counterattack. That's the main difference. It's no defense, all offense.
Fred, as the word combatives, especially in recent years, is now used by many, often inappropriately, what differentiates the GHCA than the others?
Our techniques are very effective, and we want to keep them as simple as possible. Okay? We want our students to learn techniques that are simple and effective. So under stress, what's going to happen is the body's going to remember what it has learned. Okay? Any system that teaches stuff that has excessive movement or anything like that, it doesn't work out well on the battlefield or on the street. And what we also want to teach, also besides technique, is the attitude, okay, an aggressive attitude, which makes us a little different than anybody else.
Fred, combatives are born in the military sector, in the law enforcement field. Are, in your opinion, adapt also to civilians?
Yes, today, again, combatives, it depends on, even though it was born and designed in the military and law enforcement, it's definitely applicable to civilians. The right civilians and responsible civilians. Okay? It doesn't matter where your battlefield is. Your battlefield doesn't have to be a foreign country or a far place. Wherever you may be in the fight for your life, that is going to be your battlefield. And combatives will make you succeed in that.
How long does it take to learn combatives for an average Joe?
To learn combatives, again, the GHCA, we are an instructor-based organization. So anybody who comes into our organization, we want to make them an instructor, and so we can keep this fighting heritage alive. But as a student, you need to spend some time learning the combatives. Again, there's four elements of combatives, which is unarmed, stick, knife, and handgun. So it's going to take you some time. But we adhere to the same principles as way back when. Is everything is going to be as simple as possible, so it's easy to learn. It's not going to take you decades to learn our techniques.
In GHCA, you use NICOM. Can you tell us something about this method of combat?
Okay. NICOM is abbreviation for the term knife combat. NICOM was developed by our founder, Robert Casper. NICOM is based on Western military and criminal schools, the thought of knife fighting. What we're going to do is teach you knife combat, not knife fighting. Okay? Knife combat is I have a knife, my adversary, my enemy may or may not, and I want to end that altercation as fast as I possibly can with the knife. That's NICOM.
Combatives is also shooting the gun. So what are the main characteristics of the combat shooting?
Combat shooting versus target shooting, or marksmanship. Marksmanship is you're going to have perfect stance, perfect breathing, perfect sight alignments, perfect sight picture. Okay? Combat shooting is I need to deploy that handgun, deploy that weapon, and get 2-3 rounds downrange as fast as possible and hit my target.
Thank you very much for your interview, Fred. I hope to meet you soon. Thank
I
you very
appreciate
much.
it. Thank you. My pleasure.